coming up.
If I knew that you'd leave us behind, if I knew that we had no more time to say.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're not really gonna make a song, but this is more of a video of me breaking down the song that I made. And I've spent 2 days on this single track. Prepare your eyes. Boom. Look at that. It's massive. Anyway, we have 24 tracks today, well technically 23, and we're gonna go through every single one of them. So this song actually is something that I recorded on my keyboard and I wrote in like 20 minutes, and I spent the last 2 days trying to perfect the song, but I'm still not satisfied with the mix, but I can't spend too much time on one single track, so we're just gonna get started. First of all, I'm gonna put up the video of I'm gonna play a portion of the recording, the demo recording for you.
Once I was a boy, surrounded by faces that I used to know. Everything was perfect and I couldn't ask for anything better. I could have been better if I knew that you'd leave me behind. If I knew that you had no more time, I would hold you. I'll always miss you.
So that's how the song started. If you haven't heard this song, I'm probably going to put timestamps on the video, but if you want to go through this without hearing the song yet, you can just stay. But anyway, let's get started. So it starts off like this.
Once I was a boy, surrounded by faces I used to know. Everything was perfect, I couldn't ask for anything better. I could have been better.
Okay. Why do I have to catch my breath? Okay, breath. So first of all, we have an E-piano, and this E-piano is an instrument made by Spitfire Audio Labs. And the chords that I used on here are actually pretty interesting. So we're in the key of C major, but we start off on the 1, which is C, and then we go to a B flat diminished 7. And the reason this chord works is because it prepares the next chord, which you will hear right now. Right here. You see how it falls directly onto that chord? It's because B flat diminished 7 is actually, you could think of it as like a 4 minor, 4 F, but instead of a minor, you play a diminished chord. So it's like a 4 to 1 cadence, right? And then 4 minor in the key of C. So the 4 of C is F, right? I think about here is where we change it. That's a C. So that's actually, I think, is a C sharp half diminished, or C sharp minor 7 flat 5. And then after this chord is a 2 chord, which is a D minor 7. And the last chord is a 4 minor again, which is F minor. What else? Let's see. So we have strings on here. I have 2 different strings. The first one sounds like this. And this, of course, is made by Spitfire Audio Lab. But anyway, the other strings sound like this. So the chords, I think, are kind of the same, yeah? We have a 1 chord, and then we have this, which is, I just increased, I just upped, whatever the word is for it, I take it up by one semitone onto C. Then we go to a D minor. I think it's just a D minor chord with like a G in there. Yep, and I think that just repeats here as well. And on the second one as well. I'm not sure about this other one though. Oh yeah, this one is a pattern that I noticed in Jacob Collier's songs. If you know who Jacob Collier is, he's a legend. He actually, in most of his orchestral works, he likes to have like these really high pitched kind of strings, and I just kind of copy that vibe. And it sounds like this. And we have a bass, of course. We have I think this bass is a Serum preset, and it sounds like this. I'm just playing the root note. Then at the end, we have a switch up. So at the end there, I played a kind of the way I like to think about it is a 2-5-1, but instead of 2-5-1 in the key of C, we go to the 2-5-1 in the key of A minor. And the 5 of A minor, of course, is E. Where's the E piano? Where's the E piano? Here it is. This is like an E dominant 7, but I'm practically playing an A minor arpeggio with these next chord. I think this is a good segue to the next part, which you haven't heard yet, I hope. So I'm going to play it for you.
If I knew that you'd leave us behind, if I knew that we had no more time to say.
Okay. Let's break it down. Let's see. So here we have another pattern that I recognize from an Arcane song, which I can't play for you, but I heard right before the kick, there's this really loud, well, not loud, but like this really distorted snare. Without this, it sounds like this. And I named it Ratata, if you can see over there. But without the distortion plugin, pretty sure it sounds pretty normal. Yeah. It's a normal snare. Once you distort it, it sounds really cool once it mixes to the kick over here. And I think that's a good time. This is a good time to explain. I put a normal kick sound here. Let's delete this. This is useless. And I put like a really massive reverb on it. So without the reverb, it sounds like this. Just a regular kick. And with the reverb, it has like a kind of sound. Yeah. And it's like it sounds really massive, right? That was my idea. And then for the snare, which you might not have even noticed, it's just I named it BTAAAA. It sounds like this. And the reason I say you might not have noticed it is because I actually pitched it up so it sounds like an actual note in the key of A minor, and it sounds like this all together. Oh, sorry. Okay. So let's look at the bass. I changed the bass for this one. I wanted a really distorted kind of bass to fit that vibe, and I chose another Serum preset over here. It sounds like this. Without the distortion plugin that I put on it, it just sounds like this. Yeah, it still has that sort of crunch, but it's a different whatever the word is for it. It's a different kind of sound. Right? And the synth here, this is the most, in my opinion, this is the most important part to this part. Important parts to this part. I really do have a way with words. It sounds like this. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is another Serum preset, and this is actually a stock with, let's see what I put here. I put a phaser. It's called Emerald Phase, Emerald Phase, and it's an effect rack made by Soundtoys. And I put this plugin that lets you change the dynamics of your waveform. So it has like a like that kind of sound. Without this plugin, it sounds like this. See, it's just straight notes, and if I put this, you'll actually be able to see this visual right here. You see how this basically means the volume of whatever it's acting on, right? So it starts from 0 and then it goes all the way up here. And it just repeats. I wanted something to sound really fuzzy, and this I went through every single synth here in this tab, and none of them work except for this one. So this is really crucial. Then I have an E-piano. I'm gonna play it for you with all the plugins. This is an E-piano, believe it or not, and I put the same plugin. This is actually a free plugin. You can get it for free. Where it modifies the waveform. Without this, it sounds like this. So it basically just chops the sound, basically, with this shape right here. And I also put a ping pong sound. So it goes like from the left ear to the right ear, to the left ear to the right ear. Oh, of course, I forgot to mention the vocals. Of course, the vocals are up here. And I actually had to chop it to fit the ratata snare. And this sound right here is just a copy of this, but with a different plugin. By itself, it sounds like this. Anyway, I should actually mention the plugins that I use on here. So first of all, let's start at the top. I have quite a bit of plugins on here, but I wouldn't say they're insignificant, but they're not as interesting. So I just have an equalizer with the vocal preset on a plugin called Pro Q3. It's just a stock preset. And then I have a de-esser, and I'm using the plugin called TDR Nova. Then we have Tokyo Dawn Records Kotelnikov, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a compressor. It's actually a mastering compressor, as you can see over here. It works pretty good as a normal compressor too. And then we have Echo Boy, and I'm putting another ping pong delay. I guess you call it a delay, right? It's called Studio Tape Pong, and a plugin called Echo Boy made by Soundtoys. Pretty sure I've covered everything now here, especially since we went through the vocal bus chain.
Time to say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Let's cover this part.
Say goodbye.
So again, I'm placing you might not be able to see it, but I'm placing the strings, I'm placing the strings in front of the vocal. It's not actually in time.
Say goodbye.
And then you can hear an E-piano on there as well. And I didn't even hear this chord the first time, but it's just an F6. Yeah, this is just an F6 chord, and this is an F minor again.
Say goodbye.
And then we get to this part right here. I think this is another really cool thing. Again, I forgot to mention, this plugin is made by Spitfire Audio again. It's called Cello Mood C Ah, and I increased the attack speed on it, so it hits like, goes like, and the notes kind of change by themselves, and it makes for some really interesting sound sometimes. Especially this one, it goes like to an F minor. That's an F minor. And then it changes over here. it goes to like a 5 chord, which is really interesting because like I was gonna go to the 1 anyway, and I figured, you know, it's really good that it does that because it kind of, I don't have to pitch bend the notes anymore, so it just prepares the next chord. But let's hear the second string on here. Again, it's the Swells Ensemble made by Spitfire Audio Labs. Made by Spitfire Audio Labs is the plugin, sorry. And this cuts off kind of early. I really would have preferred it to go all the way. Yeah, I think it's also a good thing that it doesn't go all the way because of this plugin right here doing the work of the last chord, which is the 5 chord. But anyway, let's hear the second bit.
Now that I'm older, I think I feel better, but that's just what I tell myself. I would give anything to feel your touch once again. Always remember, I'll be back in December.
Okay, so here I'm just copying what's on here. As you can see, they're pretty much identical over here and here, and I've already showed you my vocal bus, so let's just move on to the next bit.
Always back in December. If I could turn back time, I'd tell him to stay where he was. I tell.
So nothing much has changed over here except for the vocal. Let's see if I can find it.
If I could turn back time.
So this is auto tuned, and you might be able to hear very clearly. And the reason for that is because I actually recorded this in a different key. It actually sounds like this.
If I could turn back time.
So I recorded it in the key of B flat, and then I just pitched it up, so it sounds like really robotic and weird, which I like.
If I could turn back time, I'd tell him to stay where he was.
Right? Anyway, moving on.
I tell him to make the most of his days with you.
So the vocal is still the same, so we're just going to cover what has changed over here. So I added the kick again.
Tell him to make the most of his days.
So it's just the kick again, so it sounds like it has like a sort of conclusion, right? Because it's just the kick and no other electronic stuff here. So it sounds really nice in my opinion.
Tell him to make.
Let's go over the chords over here. I'm pretty sure this is just, yeah, it's a 4 chord and then an F minor.
Most of his days with you.
Sorry, not really a 4 chord. This is like kind of a 2 chord, but it's a different inversion. So I see it as a 4 chord. This is an F6, and then we have an F
Most
minor.
of his days with you.
And instead of going back to C, we go to E over here. So it kind of extends our journey.
You.
3, 6, 4, 4 minor. Right, so E minor, A minor, and then F. Yeah, just F major, and then F minor over here. Let's replay this bit, and then we're gonna move on. Song's almost over, by the way. This is a pretty quick video.
Once I was a boy, surrounded by faces, surrounded by love. Now that I'm older, I think I feel better. That's just what I tell myself.
So, in the ending bit, I changed the chords just a little. This is just 2 notes, just 2-note harmony, and the reason for this is because I want it to sound like it's concluding, and the last, well, I was gonna say less is more, but yeah, pretty much less is more over here, because you want it to sound like quiet. Wow, my voice is distracting. There's just a vocal tuning plugin and the Studio Tape Pong, which is a ping pong delay. And then at the end here, I played like a C add 9 of some sort. And you can hear the thing again. It changes the notes by itself. So it goes like to I put a B on here, right? It just goes to a C if you can hear it. That's still a B at the top, which is really cool. The other thing over here is the high pitched strings that I mentioned earlier, and I'm using the same technique to make it sound like it's including. Yeah, so all together. Yeah, and that's pretty much the entire track. This shouldn't have took way to this long. I feel like I'm kind of slacking off. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed your time here. And if not, goodbye.
Once I was a boy, surrounded by faces I used to know. Everything was perfect, I couldn't ask for anything better. I could have been better. If I knew that you'd leave us behind, if I knew that we had no more time to say goodbye, say goodbye. Now that I'm older, I think I feel better, but that's just what I tell myself. I would give anything to feel your touch once again. Always remember, I'll be back in December. If I could turn back time, I'd tell him to stay where he was. I'd tell him to make the most of his days with you. Once I was a boy, surrounded by faces, surrounded by love. Now that I'm older, I think I feel better. That's just what I tell myself.